Bharat is ancient. Long before modern India, the Rigveda remembered a people called the Bharatas. They lived in a world of rivers, cattle, ritual poetry, and shifting alliance scenery, more not a nation with fixed borders. The clothing you see is reconstructed. The hymns preserve garments and ornaments, but never a complete Bharata costume. Our evidence comes mainly from orally composed hymns-amura poetry of ritual, praise, rivalry and memory. Names such as Purus, Yadus, Turvashas and Anus belong to the same fluid political landscape. These communities moved, divided, cooperated, intermarried and competed. Their identities could change as alliances changed. Cattle meant food, wealth and influence. Leaders needed resources if they hoped to attract and reward followers. Pastoral life could exist beside cultivation. Herding, grain and seasonal movement were not mutually exclusive. Hospitality mattered too. Exchange, kinship and obligation could bind households together without any formal state. Rivers shaped everything. They provided water and pasture, but they also blocked movement and tested traveling communities. One hymn remembers crossing the Vipash and Shutudri, usually identified with the Beas and Sutlej. Such passages show movement, but they do not provide a modern map of Bharata territory. Among these communities, the Bharatas became unusually prominent in the poetry that survived. Their patrons, ritual specialists and poets linked ritual success with leadership, generosity and political prestige. Gift-giving mattered because wealth became prestige when others witnessed it and poets remembered it. The poet could preserve a victory or a generous patron long after ordinary conversations disappeared. That may help explain why the Bharata name survived so powerfully in later Indian memory. Yet, the Bharatas were not ancient rulers of all India. Their world was smaller, mobile and competitive. The Purus were major neighbors and rivals, but their relationship with Bharata groups changed over time. Yadus and Turvashas also appear in the hymns, sometimes together within the same network of shifting alliances. The Anus belong to this world too. None of these names should be treated as modern ethnic labels. What we see instead is a web of cooperation, rivalry, marriage, migration, and occasional violence. Book 7 remembers Sudas and the Bharata side in the famous conflict called the Battle of the 10 Kings. The poem places Sudas against a coalition at the Parushni, usually identified with the Ravi. River, rain and terrain mattered alongside weapons. This was not a battle fought on an empty plain. But we hear the victor's poetry, not an impartial military report written for modern historians. In that poetry, survival becomes prestige leadership, divine favor and victory are woven into Bharata memory. Politics did not stop after one battle. Former enemies could later become allies, relatives or partners. Marriage and household movement also created alliances. Political history was lived through families as well as chiefs. Over time, older groups could merge into broader formations while still preserving important ancestral names. And Bharata was one of the names with an extraordinary future beyond its original Vedic setting. Later Sanskrit traditions used Bharata and Bharatavasha for increasingly larger peoples, territories and civilizational worlds. The path was not simple. Meanness. Later literature also connected the name Bharata with legendary kings and genealogies. The Rigvedic Bharatas belong to the deep history behind Bharat, but they were never a modern nation in disguise. Today, India is constitutionally Bharat. An ancient name survived, expanded and gained meanings its earliest bearers never imagined.